Enjoy your Zoa. Oh, no applause? You're all fired. This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. Oh, no applause? You're all fired.
Now that you've reached the stage in your life where quality television is important, Nubian TV is a black network that speaks to your lifestyle. Nubian TV is the world's first digital network devoted to the upscale and political lifestyles of black people. Nubian TV's programming includes politics, travel, fashion, food, automotive, arts and culture, civil rights, music, and more. Watch now on Amazon Fire TV, Roku, or watch globally at nubiantv.net. Nubian TV, it's what you want to watch. Now that
sweet morning dew, one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny. God, you are found. I come from nothing. Our son is your son. Welcome to the celebration. We all we got. I'll see that. Don't you leave here today with happiness. I want you to leave here with shame.
Well, hello to you, and you. Welcome into another edition of Braylon's Virtual Tour Live. Glad to have all you here. It's a bonus tour for you this evening. Y'all know I normally do 2 shows on Wednesday, but sometimes if I see something that I find interesting to talk about, sometimes I don't like to talk about. So that's what we're doing tonight. The said BET update Townhall is happening right from this space right here, right now, because there was something that happened today everybody needs to be aware of. With that being said, hire is waiting, those available. But either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. And then there is me, everybody. Hey, welcome in. Glad to have all of you here in the building with me. Let's get to the getting and doing what we do, because we do have a lot to talk about here. So this came out today from our reporter. BET is not immune from Paramount job cuts. CEO Scott Mills says unveiling streamlining. The executive did immediately detail the number of layoffs or the financial impact. BET is cutting jobs as a part of a streamlining of the organization under a recently unveiled 3.5% reduction of the domestic workforce at its parent company, Paramount Global, as Kawara waits federal communications approval of Skydance Media's deal to acquire it. BET is not immune to the conditions necessitating these actions, so we too must reduce staff in our organization. BET Media Group President CEO Scott Mills said in a Wednesday staff memo obtained by her report. He did immediately detail the number of layoffs or their financial impact. In his previous announcement, Paramount said the cuts will amount to several hundred U.S. employees across its business. We will further leverage Paramount's scaled support functions in areas including linear research, finance, business, and legal affairs. Mills highlight and signaling what areas will most be affected. So, of course, I'm not surprised by this. I mean, I think eventually BET was going to, get the hammer as well. The sad thing is that probably people who have been there for a very, very, very long time. Give me one moment, y'all. Before we get there, I want to show y'all this here. This is my
right now, and could see this stream pushed out a little bit farther both today and in the coming days, and maybe even weeks ahead as a replay because of the engagement signals sent into the YouTube algorithm when I wonder if Butler Family Farm Jerry will remember. Has it been a year already since I was talking about hay on your channel? Remember, we were talking about the hay, and
by the way, if you have not checked out Super Chat,
I can't remember if it was just they were bringing hay or they had a trailer.
We're just taking a little bit of a break.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, she is cute. Selena. Okay, child.
If it was this year.
Some of these sisters on YouTube, I gotta tell you, they are flying.
Jerry, thank you so
much.
I really appreciate the extra.
Okay, here we go.
Support today, and I appreciate every moment everybody can spend. I know not everybody could be here for 3 hours. Henry Leslie, Vermont, good to see you in the house. Braylon Lee is actually live right now. They're going to talk reality television, and what they do is add commentary, of course, but they've got a lot of popular shows. We start to dig through their thumbnails, you get an idea of some of what they're bringing to us. I'm going to put one of their latest videos on my catch-up list because I can see them falling behind here. But shorts on this channel have gotten into 5,300 on one of these, my dear goodness. And then live streams where you've got even more popular shows that you're seeing here, a little bit of variety to go along with that. I'm just going to set the notification for another live stream that they've got coming up. I wonder what this is. They're doing a trivia stream. I wonder if they meant to do that right after the one they're on. They're talking about BET right now. But Braylon Lee is another generous, loyal, and dedicated supporter. Yeah, I can't remember. Was it a year already? Or is that just a few months ago? Yeah, I can't even remember. This is how confusing it gets when we got so many channels we're watching and videos we're following and things like that.
So there you go.
Kept in Stitches, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. I really do appreciate that extra generous support.
And there you go. So if you guys want access to great content creators, Tuber Chat is you got. But the reason why I brought up Tuber Chat, not just because I was about to be featured next, right? But also, too, because this is a very interesting time period for media. As you guys know, Tubi, which has now reached 100 million monthly active users, right? They have started bringing in content creators now more than ever, right? So they got like 6 content creators. Some of their digital content library is on Tubi, right from the space right here, right now, that you can watch on Tubi. Also 2 studios, which where your movie or TV show could have been a Tubi original. You also have NBC Universal with their launch Unscripted Accelerator. Still haven't heard nothing back yet from them. I'm still in consideration. And then, of course, Blavity with the Creator Collective. So what's really interesting is that with these cuts to BET and streamline the process, if they will streamline the process to get to a level where they can break even, what will happen to the content? Because there was a new show rather just announced for BET, which we'll get to here in just a little bit. Shout out to Tuber Chat once again. Dear team, this is the memo here. Dear team, as Paramount's co-CEOs recently shared, the company is taking further steps to streamline Paramount to ensure it is positioned for continued success. BET is not immune to the conditions necessitating these actions. So we too must reduce staff within our organization. As a result, today we are implementing a streamlined organization structure where BET will continue to operate the functions that are core to our mission, value proposition, and market leadership position, including content strategy and production, programming, marketing and insight, social impact, advertising, sales, streaming, and digital. At the same time, we will further leverage Paramount's scaled support functions in areas including linear research, finance, business, and legal affairs. This is a very difficult moment. The departure of talented team members who have been great collaborators, colleagues, and friends, team members who have so meaningfully contribute to BET's success and who share our passion for BET's mission and purpose. On behalf of everyone at BET, I thank each of our departing team members for their great work, their sacrifice, and their enduring contributions to BET's legacy. To all my BET colleagues, I thank you for your continued commitment to this company, to each other, and to the communities we serve. We are all a powerful and resilient brand, a powerful and resilient business, and most importantly, a powerful and resilient team. I remain confident in our collective strength to continue moving forward, to continue moving BET forward. Sincerely, Scott. And like I said, it's heartbreaking because hopefully there are some people who have been there for a long time that they'll get some severance. But then again, as we know, cuts have been made all across media, so some people may not be given a severance package or even a chance to, find a new position within Paramount. Hopefully that happens, but if not, this is a tremendous loss for BET. As you see here, they're going to operate the functions that are core to their mission, value proposition, market leadership, content strategy, production, programming, marketing, and insights, social impact, advertising, sales, streaming, and digital. So it seems like they're trying to get their content, space together, but linear research, finance, business, and legal affairs, it seems like there are going to be cuts there. Now, the only thing that I'm kind of wondering about is Paramount is a big company, right? So it's like, is Paramount's linear research team, their budget team, their business team, their legal affairs going to just be all under, Paramount? Because here's the thing, the financial budget, right, that, for example, I'm trying to think of one of the networks. Give me a moment. Let me go Paramount. Paramount's portfolio. Here are the brands here. Come on. So for example, and they don't really have too much, right? So the budget that MTV is going to get is going to be different than what the budget BET is going to get, right? So that's one thing that I am, hey, Linnell, so good to see you, my friend. That's one thing I am wondering is how will budgeting work with BET, now having finance under Paramount Global? How will that work with the business and legal affairs? Will they just have business and legal affair representative within Paramount, so it won't just be a business and legal affair, staff for BET and linear research? Will that just be under? Basically, what I'm trying to say, I'm a rambling comes great. Just give me time. Instead of having a linear research team, a finance team, a business and legal affairs team at BET, inside BET, will there just be a BET representative for linear research, finance, business, and legal affairs? That is the question there. And then, of course, here from Deadline, there are 6 comments. We'll read those comments there. From Deadline.com, BET lays off staff amid broader Paramount cutbacks. BET CEO Scott Mills informed employees Wednesday morning that their ranks are being thinned as a part of Paramount Global's most recent round of layoffs. While no exact numbers were provided for BET's cuts, they are a part of Paramount's move to lay off 3.5% of its domestic workforce earlier this month, an action that affected several hundred positions. At the end of 2024, the company had 18,600 global employees. The staff memo obtained by Deadline, Mills wrote that BET is not immune to the conditions necessitating these actions, so we too must reduce our staff within our organization. Plans call for BET to further leverage Paramount's scaled support functions in areas including linear research, finance, and business and legal affairs. The memo said, in streamlining its organization, BET will continue to operate the functions that are core to our mission, value proposition, and market leadership position. Those areas include content strategy and production, programming, marketing, insights, social impact, advertising, sales, streaming, and digital, rather. This is a very difficult moment, the departure of talented team members who have been great collaborators, colleagues, and friends, rather. Team members who have so meaningfully contributed to BET's success and who share our passion for BET's mission and purpose, Mills added. On behalf of everyone at BET, I thank each of our departing team members for their great work, their sacrifice, and their enduring contributions to BET's legacy. The most recent staff reductions follow a larger downsizing in 2024, which affected 15% of domestic staff. Paramount, like its media peers, is continuing with a decline in linear TV viewing and advertising, along with pressure on distribution revenue. Streaming has grown, but has different economics than traditional linear TV. In addition to industry headwinds, Paramount has also faced an agonizingly protracted merger process as it looks to close a $8 billion, you heard that right, $8 billion combination of Skydance Media. The deal has been in legal and regulatory limbo for months, primarily due to a lawsuit filed by President 47 against CBS News. Let's see the comments here. See what the people got to say. The existence of BET Plus in 2025 makes no sense. Why hasn't it merged into Paramount Plus? Why is there still no bundle of BET Plus and Paramount Plus together at a discount? You know, I will say this. I think the reason why BET Plus is probably still a separate platform are for many reasons. One, Tyler Perry, even though he's in a sexual assault lawsuit, he is a minority owner in BET Plus. Number two, that's probably the biggest Black streaming platform in the Black culture, right? And so the Black dollars worth $1 trillion, and not to mention too, Paramount can keep their diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts within keeping BET within the Paramount family. And number three, the reason why they probably haven't done a bundle with Paramount Plus is because Paramount Plus's audience is more of a general audience, and BET Plus audience, it's more of a niche audience, you know what I mean? I think I double spoke that before, but to hone a point in on that, right? BET works as the way Paramount Plus works as a regurgitation of everything Paramount. BET is a regurgitation of everything BET. So to have BET history on one platform and not so much mixed in and swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you ever went through a time in life where everything was overwhelming? And to see it all, and for it not to be so compartmentalized is probably why. BET is baffling. It's a little much though. For Anonymous, practically the whole team was gutted. What a tragedy. Good, hardworking people losing their livelihoods, sickening. There's no justice. I agree with you, Anonymous. 3.5 layoffs, but they still have 3 CEOs. What a joke. I agree. This 3.5% layoff is just to prime employees for what's coming after the Elson buyout. A company whose patriarch is at the forefront of artificial intelligence and corporate efficiency is going to cut down to the bone and replace or dispatch a lot of jobs, as well as eliminate or sell whole divisions of BET, probably near the top. But Scott Mills isn't going anywhere. Also, whatever happened to BET Studios? That is a very good point. BET Studios is a part of BET. So for those of you who are wondering, and then right here, the whole division will be shut down. Well, that could be the case because when it came to BET being up for sale the first time, it was up for sale for like $3 billion. And Tyler Perry put in a bid for $2 billion. It got to the point where basically Tyler Perry said, I would never try to buy BET. The buying process was disrespectful. Then Byron Allen tried to buy for $3 billion. They rejected him. So then he tried to buy Paramount Global for $14 billion. And then when Bob Iger stupidly said that he was going to try to sell ABC, not Bob Iger, but Byron Allen put in a bid for $10 billion. Yeah. So with that being said, here is BET Media Group here. So here are the assets here, right? So they have BET, the main network, but then they have the sister networks, BET Her, which is their female channel, BET Gospel, BET Jams, and BET Soul, right? And BET. Now, also another platform under BET Media Group is VH1. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? VH1 is under MTV. You are right. But you were right so long ago because VH1 moved from MTV. VH1 moved from MTV to BET a couple of years ago, and then BET Plus, like I said, Tyler Perry is a minority owner in that. And then BET Studios is their movie studio there. So right here they have Nobody's Fool, Paramount Players, Tyler Perry Studios, What Men Want. From Paramount Players, Woolpacker Productions, What Men Want There, Body Cam, Paramount Players, and Ace Entertainment, Karen, Flickerville, USA, and then King of the South, Lionsgate Films, and Genius Mind Pictures there. So then, of course, they have BET Digital, which is BET Mobile, BET.com, and then formerly the BET Walk of Fame Awards. The BET Walk of Fame Awards were established in 1995 by BET. In 2004, proceeds were shared between the United Negro College Fund and the BET Foundation, which executes the Healthy Bet or Obesity Awareness Campaign, the pro-social causes like the annual charitable Black Tie BET Walk of Fame ceremony, and of course, BET Home Entertainment. BET programming is distributed through DVD and through video on demand services under the name BET Home Entertainment. In 2007, a distribution deal was arranged with Paramount Home Entertainment, a sister company of BET since 2001. Now, in addition to all that, right, you had Shaquille O'Neal, you had 50 Cent that wanted to get on it, you had Kenya Barris as well, you had Group Black. Not really a lot of women trying to, buy out BET. Right, so there is that there. So yeah, like I said, it's very interesting because, like I said, with the content creator side, there were shows like The Next Food Network Star, HGTV Design Star, and of course your own show, Oprah Social the Next Beat, for the next Oprah Social the Next TV Star, right? So then, they now before I do this. I want to pull this up from USA Today because Scott Mills said, and I quote, that BET's hit show 106 Park could make a comeback for its 25th anniversary, CEO says, okay? BET's 106 Park, the hit daily countdown show that had R&B and hip-hop music lovers glued to their screens in the early 2000s, could potentially make a comeback for its upcoming anniversary. The network's president and CEO, Scott Mills, hinted at the potential reimagined reboot during an interview on The Breakfast Club last week. We understand that people love 106 Park, and so the fact that it doesn't work as a linear TV show doesn't mean that 106 Park is over. We can bring back 106 Park as a podcast. We can bring back 106 Park as a digital experience. So, it's interesting that he says that because right here, BET Media Group and Full Well Entertainment Spring Hill announced 106 Sports, where sports meets culture, style, and real talk. BET Media Group and Full Well Entertainment Spring Hill announced 106 Sports, where sports meets culture, style, and real talk. Cam Newton and Ashley Nicole Moss to co-host new weekly series officially announced from BET Awards 2025 stage. June 11th, 2025, BET Media Group, the largest media company dedicated to champion Black culture, Spring Hill, the award-winning studio within Full Well Entertainment, proudly announced 106 Sports, a bold new weekly series where the biggest stories in sports be culture, fashion, real conversation. Officially unveiled live on stage during the 106 Park 25th anniversary celebration. During the BET Awards, the show will be hosted by NFL MVP media personality Cam Newton and CBS sports analyst host reporter Ashley Nicole Moss. 106 in Sports is a fast-paced culture forward countdown that breaks down the week's top 10 moments in sports From viral highlights and locker room sound bites to championship fits and trending topics, each episode delivers a dynamic blend of athlete interviews, unfiltered commentary, and real talk that lives at the intersection of sports and Black culture. As we continue to evolve BET as a multi-platform cultural powerhouse, expanding into sports storytelling is a natural next step, said Scott Mills, President and CEO of BET Media Group. 106 in Sports gives us the opportunity to reimagine the spirit of the beloved 106 Park franchise through a sports lens, capturing personalities, passion, the unapologetic spirit of our community, both in and out of the arena. We are proud to partner with Spring Hill on this launch, as there is a natural synergy in our shared mission to celebrate, elevate, and center the voices shaping culture today. We are excited to build this new sports and culture show based on the legendary 106 Park brand. This builds on our mission of empowering athlete voices and entertaining audiences. We are thankful for our continued partnership with our partners at BET, said Maverick Carr, co-CEO of Full World Entertainment. Filmed in Atlanta, the show will feature, yes, you heard that right, filmed in Atlanta. Not filmed in New York, but filmed in Atlanta. The show will feature segments like one-on-one celebrity interviews, fashion deep dives, hot takes, audience debates, all into the main event, the number one story of the week, with resident DJ, rotating VIP guests, and a live studio audience. 106 in Sports brings the feel of a sports lounge television, offering something for hardcore fans and casual viewers alike. Produced by Spring Hill, the award-winning studio within Full World Entertainment. 106 in Park, 106 in Sports, is executive produced by LeBron James, Maverick Carr, Jamal Henderson, and Philip Bryan, with Courtney Whitaker serving as co-executive producer. Executive producers for BT and are Tiffany Lee Williams and Jamal Narsat. Now, here's the thing, right? Hey, Coach James Hodge, good to see you, brother. As always, good to see you, man. So here's the thing, right? I went off on this because we talked about it this week. And I said that, quite frankly, I think that there should have been a better way to go about this. Aren't there sports content creators already on YouTube that they already have fan bases that all you have to ask them is, hey, listen, we want to expand into sports. Could we bring your show to BET? Or better yet, how about bringing some sports content creators onto BET Plus, testing them out there, right? And then going forward with eventually bringing 106 in Sports back just to see if there's even an energy for this, right? Because when they do this, if it fails, then it's egg on their face, right? And I've said this before. I think BET should be the Ebony magazine. I think VH1 should be the Jet magazine. VH1 being the network for Black and BIPOC content creators, independent artists, and entrepreneurs trying to get in the door of Hollywood. And then BET is where all the established talent is. So you have 106 in Park, Weeknights at 65 Central on BET, but it comes back as a top 10 Black entertainment news show, right? So top 10 Black entertainment news stories of the day. Then you have BET. Then you have 106 in Park on VH1, counting down the top 10 social media stories of the day, right? Then you have 106 in Park Uncut on BET Plus, because on streaming there's no regulation. So you can go there, right? And then if you want to do late night for the grown and sexy, then of course you can do, 106 in Park After Dark, which was a April Fool's prank. You can do that on BET at 11:35, 10:35 Central, or 11 o'clock. Just hit a hard time. Do adult stories that, you gotta be up. And then of course you can do 106 in Park After Dark for the, the shade room and all the blocks, right? For that, right? So established sources at 106 in Park After Dark, and all the bloggers and content creators 106 in Park After Dark on VH1. That's how I would bring back 106 in Park. And then of course bring back 106 in Park as a website to 106inpark.com. And then hire entertainment journalists from there. Because quite frankly, honestly, if you really wanted to, and listen, I'm giving this advice away for free, and I know BT is not going to be that smart to do this. I know they're not. Because guess what? If I was there, I would say, hey, listen, we want to take Pop TV. TV Land, I don't think is ever going to go away. I mean, TV Land's been around since what? 1950, I think. Let's see, TV Land. Okay, I dated it a little too much. My bad. So this originally launched in 1996, right? But this is classic TV show. So, Andy Griffith Show, King of Queens, basically all the classic TV shows get over here after they hit their 100 episode, right? So I don't think TV Land will ever go away, but you could literally turn Pop TV into the 106 Park Network, and that can just be for Black entertainment news. Will BET do it? Probably not, because eventually it will have to be sold, because Paramount's in $14.9 billion worth of debt. Yeah, I know. So with that being said, I saw this from the Hollywood Report here. Paprika Studios and Seafood TV execs talk formats to know this is mostly not about cooking shows. The Traders, The Box, Tiger Day, and Wild Celebrity Competition reality shows are the only thing anyone in Norway is looking at or among the topics of debate for NATPE Budapest. I know when you hear Paprika, Seafood, and TV, you may be thinking that this is all about cooking shows and that the writer of these lines don't know how to spell seafood correctly. But no, this is all about the final session at Wednesday's NATPE Budapest schedule. Format features How to Make a Splash on the Global Stage was its title, and the speakers, this is where the food monk comes in, were Ekos Edros, CEO of Hungary Pekor Eastern and Central European production company Paprika Studios Group, and Alexander Harchal, Chief Content Officer of Norway's Seafood TV. While massive franchises like Survivor and Big Brother dominate global screens, emerging formats making waves of securing international adaptations often come from smaller but highly creative players. The description of the session said, like content creators, you say? Influencers, you say? The unheard, you say? Quite interesting. Yes. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, y'all. Of course, it's us. Of course, it's us. Yes, indeed. There. Okay, of course, it's freezing up, y'all. I'll give it a moment. There we go. Okay. So how do these companies succeed in the age of deep-pocketed global streaming technology giants? Creativity has always been at the center of the focus of our attention set. Edros, touting original programming as the focus of his team at the 17-year-old company that produces in 7 countries. But he also emphasized that while commissioners typically ask for fresh content that they've never seen before, they often also highlight the contradictory hopeful concepts. Paprika's strategy to serve clients well is to develop a format and adapt it for various markets where it makes sense. For example, its first big hit was a culinary format called Fish on the Cake, which has yielded 700 plus episodes in more than a dozen countries each week. 5 celebrities invite each other to dinner at their home one by one. They were competing to make a perfect evening for the 3 other guests and collect as many points as possible to be crowned the host of the week, explains the show description. Dramedy Tiger Day has also traveled starring in Hungary. It has been followed by a Czech version. The executive highlighted the show is about a single father who has dedicated his whole life to raising 3 girls as a stepfather. Now that they are starring out independent lives of their partners, he begins in the spirit of 50 is the new 30, a search for a new partner. I can tell you that probably has some very, very funny and probably very poignant moments in that show. Edros also touted drama Murderesses about a young, ambitious community police officer trying to locate her father who has been missing for a year. She's investigating a seemingly mundane murder in a booze den and enters a dangerous relationship with a teenage suspect. Oh my. Okay, sounds like Teacher from FX, child, just with a little murder in it. Good Lord. The Paprika boss mentioned that it has traveled to different markets in a different way. Netflix is streaming the show in Poland, with other streaming deals in the likes of Japan, New Zealand, and other countries. Reality is definitely on the uprise, Enero said about current market trends, calling that a reversal of the previous focus on dramas. A few years ago, I would have said the same for fiction, but the trend is now changing and people want relevant content, the Paprika CEO said. In that context, he talked about Traders, one of the big worldwide hit formats of today. I'm a big fan of the Traders, Enero said. We are producing it in Hungary, now in Romania, actually in actually in a production hub back to back, which is unique. But big reality shows with dozens of episodes are getting tired and fading away from commissioners' eyes because they start not performing under those argue. The ones that can fill a TV slot for 30, 40 episodes these days are hard to find. Paprika's work and status in the broader region has clearly been getting noticed. This week, ITV struck a deal with Paprika, which became independent from Scandinavia's Viaplay in January 2024, and has been working to further strengthen its reputation. Under the deal, Paprika is exclusively representing 6 ITV studios in unscripted formats across 7 key markets, namely Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Hungary, Lithuania, Romania, Slovenia, and Slovakia, and Slovenia. Meanwhile, Herschel on Wednesday touted Seafoods hit Norwegian adventure reality format The Box, which has been licensed to such territories as the United Kingdom, France, and Denmark. The show features 12 celebrity contestants who are placed in separate containers and put in the middle of challenges they know nothing about. They must work out what to do when the box opens and accomplish the mission at hand. Seafood's other shows include the likes of Celebrity Task Force, in which celebrities join the army, relationship format Still Looking at Couples Therapy, as well as Santa's in the Barn, whose description reads, on the very first day of December, 24 exciting contestants enter a barn where they will live together as Santas for 24 days. Interesting. Herschel was asked what works best for consumers and commissioners in Norway, and he didn't have to think about his answer. Norway's celebrity competition reality is the only thing they want shared. I guess it's a major trend overall everywhere, but especially in Norway, it's interesting because in Norway, 70% of the viewing is video on demand. That's what VOD stands for, everybody. So that kind of changed the whole media landscape and what kind of format can work in Norway. Continue the executive. We don't have any talk shows anymore. Most of our studio formats are also not performing that well, and scripted has also been down since streamers lowered their ambitions on the scripted side. So that's the situation. What does all that mean for Seafood? For us, it's back to the same thing. We are driven by passion, Herschel said. So for us, it's all about trying to develop something we really believe in. And I think if we were able to persuade someone, if it's just a good enough concept. So this is interesting. So I know what you're thinking, like, Ray, what does this have to do with BET? Well, I'm glad you asked, because most of, if not all, formats, right, for television usually come from Norway and then are adapted for the United States most of the time, right? There's not to say there's not to say it doesn't happen, right? For the United States to have a format, then it goes, viral. But that's usually here and there, right? So just want to bring that up because BET, I think they used to have international markets, if I'm not mistaken. So with that being said, let's look at this here. So they do have BET International right here. So BET International is available in Africa along with the Middle East and North Africa region. So right here, so they got Africa, Middle East, South Korea, and France, and their headquarters is in the United Kingdom, right? So like I said, they do have international channels, right? So they have Canada and France mostly, but like I said, there could be a format from France or Canada that BET could buy to put on BET Canada or France, right? So I think that's probably the way. I think that's probably the way that most networks do it. They have an international sister channel that, okay, like this format, can we put it on BET Canada or BET France, and then if it works well, then can we, format for the United States, right? So then finally, ladies and gentlemen, right here from Variety.com, as BET reflects 45 years, Scott Mills reflects on powerful partnership, historic moments, and airing the Miss Pat show after being told to bury it. Creativity requires risk. BET CEO Scott M. Mills sees a lot of doubles in the world, and yet he believes that there's never been anything quite like his trailblazing multimedia powerhouse. Most things in life, there are multiples of them, Mills says, but BET is one thing that there's nothing similar to. Launched in 1980 by businessman Robert L. Johnson, who also created the all-black streaming service, which is under AMC Networks, which also owns WeTV. WeTV used to be women's entertainment, but now it's a unscripted network for black content. Like I said, launched in 1980 by businessman Robert L. Johnson, BET Black Entertainment Television served as the first television network entirely devoted to Black Americans, later becoming the first Black-controlled company to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Originally a home for music videos and reruns of popular Black sitcoms, BET developed a footprint in news, stand-up comedy, talk shows, reality, and original series programming with projects from Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels, and Kevin Hart. From its inception, BET has been a groundbreaking force in entertainment, cultural representation, says producer Will Packer. I, along with many others, have benefited from the trails blazed by the definitive platform for Black artists. Under the leadership of Scott Mills, the network continues to honor and amplify the voices of the Black community, shaping the industry in ways that will echo for generations to come. In 2019, BET expanded into streaming with BET Plus, and then 2 years later came the creation of BET Studios with partners Kenya Barris and Rashida Jones, who is the daughter of Quincy Jones. BET Studios offer equity ownership for Black creators and develops content for Showtime, CBS, and more. I don't think BET Studios has done a show where it's produced by BET Studios, but it has aired on Netflix or Hulu or Max or ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and CW. I don't think that has happened yet. Perry says the launch of the streaming service was one of the most impactful moments for him. There's Tyler Perry and Taraji P. Henson there. Look at them looking like a couple. Yeah. Partnering with BET to build a streaming service from the ground up was a historic milestone in our industry. For me personally, seeing it grow into a platform that provides quality, authentic Black content has been deeply fulfilling. Perry says, personally, it means everything to provide opportunities for Black talent, both in front of and behind the camera. Professionally, this collaboration has reinforced for me the power of storytelling and given us an opportunity to amplify voices who don't always get a moment in the spotlight. And for 4 decades and counting, there's a bigger mission in sight. BET is more than just a network. It's a celebration of who we are and where we're going, says Taraji P. Henson, whose production company has an overall deal with BET. They give so many of us a platform where we can be ourselves and celebrate our excellence. Here, Mills opens up about the 45th anniversary of BET and what's ahead. What does this milestone mean to BET? It's pause for reflection and reflecting. Think about how much the world has changed. Bob Johnson became the first stated Black American billionaire in 2000. The universe of people who achieve that has expanded substantially. We are anchoring ourselves in the idea that as long as we are prepared to evolve and consistently show up for our community and culture, we should be just as prosperous over the next 45 years. Good Lord Jesus. The next 45 years of BET? Well, we haven't even gotten to the 50th celebration. I mean, the golden celebration of BET. And BET, y'all better pull out all the stops, okay? Good Lord Jesus. How has BET navigated the ever-evolving media landscape? Content changes and evolves, our community changes and evolves, and culture changes and evolves. BET is able to flourish at every intersection of Black culture, content, community. I can't tell you what the dominant platform is going to be 10 years from now, or all the distribution vehicles that will exist. But what I can say with certainty is that there will be Black culture, content, and community. What was the impetus for creating BET Plus, and what is your advantage in that market? It's really a big commitment to launch a streamer, but our research says Black Americans are streaming at levels far in excess of most populations. But when you ask those same Black Americans, how do you feel about the Black content or services, we saw double-digit differences between their general satisfaction and the delivery for culturally relevant content. That was the first sign that the opportunity absolutely existed for a BET streamer. How important has it been to be able to strike partnerships with high-level creatives? It's extraordinarily valuable. There's a beautiful array of successful Black creators, so we try to identify those whose content is going to be most aligned with our audience and product positioning. When I came back to BET in 2018 with the extraordinary success that Fox had with Empire, I felt we need to be in business with Lee Daniels. We don't have to have all these business, but we need the right project for BET. He brought us this Pat show. It was all the things that Lee Daniels is: completely original, unexpected, and provocative. Without question, Tyler Perry has been our signature partnership. his resonance within our community is just extraordinary. In 2022, the Miss Pat Show earned its first ever primetime, earned BET's first ever primetime Emmy nomination. How has that type of recognition impacted the network? It was a really important milestone. Lee called me and said, "This is the project, and BET is the only place in the world that can do this. It's just too scary for everybody else, but it's shocking, but it's amazing." I shared it with a creator from another organization who said, "You can't put this on television. You need to dig a big hole and bury this." I spent a lot of time thinking about that and decided it's risky, but we have conviction around this. The Emmy nomination was really an important reminder that creativity requires risk. Between the BET Awards and the NAACP Image Awards, why do you think it remains crucial to consistently celebrate the culture and not rely on how and when others might want to put the spotlight on it? BET does not exist to the exclusion of anything else. BET exists to the inclusion of things. We don't get challenged around whether or not the things we're doing are authentic. So. I would say yes and no. I would say yes, you do, because you're BET. And obviously, BET, what used to be back then versus what is now. I think a lot of people back then would say that BET culturally appreciated the culture. But now I would say but now with what BET is, I think a lot more Black people think that BET culturally appropriates the culture. There was a Boondocks episode about BET that, once again, just like, civil rights movement, like Tyler Perry, for example, it was around the nose. But hey, listen, that's in the world of art, everything is not out of the beholder. So what may be on point to me from what I see may be different what's on point to you from what you see, right? But to be around for 45 years, right, as a platform for BET, rather than be around for 45 years, that's no small feat, especially with what we got going on today. So it's a celebration, it's an accomplishment, it's a huge deal that we should really be proud of. And I would say no on you don't get challenged whether things or not we're doing are authentic, because it's BET. BET is only going to do something if it elevates the culture. So I'll say yes and no, that yes, you are getting judged whether it's authentic because it has to relate, but also no, because you are the final stop for Black entertainment. Although that is changing, and I wonder if there was a way to be able to make that happen. Talk to y'all about that in a minute. The Image or BET Awards aren't happening because it's popular today. It's because it's right, fair, and appropriate. And I think that gives it deep resonance. You need these shows because our community values the ability to come together, celebrate, and acknowledge us. You can go to any other award show, but they can't create these moments that are so authentic to our culture. I think of the BET Awards as the most perfect manifestation of the BET brand mission. After COVID and the murder of George Floyd, I watched the opening and wept like a baby. The creative team had really brilliantly understood where the heart and soul and the emotionally Black community were at the moment and delivered exactly what we needed. It's the single largest Black gathering of Black Americans in the country. What has been the driving force behind some of your initiatives, such as Content for Change or the recently launched Opting in the Community Preservation Fund? It has been critically important to us. The world is evolving around us, rather, so we have to manage ourselves to reflect the world in which we function. But our mission doesn't change based on the change of the current climate. Our mission is to entertain, engage, and empower our community. What I love most about BET is coming to the aid of our community. BET is uniquely positioned to rally concerned citizens, corporations, and foundations. I remember a show called Rip the Runway where the proceeds from the fashions being sold went to HIV research. I also remember when they did a BET college tour where they went around to HBCUs, right? So yeah. Do you have any specific goals you want to reach by year 50? Our aspiration is for every segment of the Black community to have daily meaningful interactions with BET. What does that does is it then tells us everywhere. That was a little jumble there. What that does is it then tells us everything we have to build our great business. Okay, that was a little jumbled. Real for real. So you'll see more in music, great proliferation of BT across platforms, BT which is spaces that would not necessarily be intuitive to people. So there was the Community X group. So there was like Black Gaming at the BT experience. And I think one idea that could really work is the next BT star. Take 20 content creators, 10 men, 10 women, they battle out. The greatest one gets an overall deal with BET, VH1, BET Seals, and BET Plus. Or you could do the next BET content creator squad. Same concept, 10 men, 10 women, and the 5 best men, the 5 best women get a 3-year deal with BET. So yes, indeed there. So that's pretty much the show, y'all. Wanted to come on and talk to you guys about this because BET does matter. Like I said, we had our, town hall, right? We had, I think I still have it. Yep, right here. The town hall that we had right here, right? Take this down. So Disney does not have a Black network. NBC Universal has no Black network, but Black people watch Bravo. Warner Bros. Discovery has the Oprah Winfrey Network. Fox has Fox Soul. Nexstar Group has no Black network. And of course, Paramount Global has Black BET, Black Entertainment Television. And so here are my thoughts about BET and how they fit in this space of this map, right? Let's just say that BET becomes independent, right? BET could move to Disney and come out with Freeform. Now, of course, that is a big swing, right? Because you're bringing the network of all networks for Black people into Disney, right? Which, some people are not going like that because they feel like, oh my God, here we go with Black and MIPOC people taking over everything and this, that, and the third. And, what is ours anymore? And is our world ending type energy? But in the same token, though, when you think about Disney, and let me come on camera and say this because it's important. I just want to just set that up with the map there. Okay, so let me take this down, put the banner back up. So with that being said, if BET moved to Disney, you got to think about Disney and how big they are, right? So for those of you who may not remember, there was a club at Pleasure Island, Walt Disney World Resort. Ooh, my Lord Jesus. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is, child. It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not surprised by that, though. Not at all. Not surprised by that at all. But yes, indeed here. So let me bring this up. Like I said, some of y'all may not have known about this, like at all. But there was this right here, for those of you who may not remember. Now, that music was from inside BET Soundstage, right, at Walt Disney World. So that's literally inside. That's literally on Pleasure Island, which was the entertainment district for Disney. Now, I'm going to go back. So, unfortunately, it didn't have like a sign, but that was literally inside Pleasure Island. So, with that being said, let me see if I can. Let me do do the clubs here. Here we go.
The Neon Armadillo was originally said to be Meriwether's greenhouse,
coming up.
filled with desert plants that he collected on his travels. When the building was rediscovered, it had been taken over by armadillos, hence the name Neon Armadillo. The Neon Armadillo allowed guests of all ages, but guests under 17 had to be accompanied by an adult. Advertised as a hot little cool-down saloon, the Neon Armadillo featured young rising talent in country music. The club was eventually replaced in 1998 with BET Soundstage Club, operated by Black Entertainment Television. The licensing agreement with BET Holdings Inc. was created before Black Entertainment Television was purchased by Viacom in the year 2000. Incidentally, Viacom owned networks such as Nickelodeon, which of course was a rival to the Disney Channel. Previously featuring a country feel with the Neon Armadillo, the BET Soundstage Club focused on R&B, hip-hop, and rap music, also offering drinks and Caribbean food. The BET Soundstage Club lasted until Pleasure Island's closure in 2008. Pleasure Island legend claims that the Comedy Warehouse building was originally...
So I wanted to show y'all that BET and Disney do have a history. So if BET really came to the Disney family, it wouldn't really be that far out the question. It really would. Now, I want to show you this just to show you how big this could be, right? So BET has 67 million households, right? Let me type in freeform. And I really do believe out of all the plans that I have ever mentioned about BET, because we talked about BET being up for sale and the plans that could happen, right? I think this one is probably the one that's going to go down the most. If BET is up for sale, I am sure Disney is going to try to buy it without question. But also too, BET's going to have to Disney's going to have to let it be black, right? So 55 million households with 67 million households. So let's do that live real quick. Okay. So let's do 67 million households, right? That's BET plus 55 million households, right? Ladies and gentlemen, that would be 122 million US households that will have BET. And then let's go back right here to 106 in Sports. Instead of doing 106 in Sports, ladies and gentlemen, imagine if the Stephen A. Smith show was on BET. You see? So Stephen A. could do First Take on ESPN and then, do his, podcast show on BET. So the synergy is already there. And not to mention, ESPN already has a lot of black talent that I'm sure could contribute to the BET sports side for BET if it was under Disney, right? Now, of course, does the Robert A. Iger building have space for BET? Because to be real with you, the Robert A. Iger building is a glorified building the Robert A. Iger building is a glorified building for oneself. Everybody need to be on the same roof? No. Does it make it easier for talent, to get to other shows and stuff like that, collaboration, this, that, and the third, blah, all around the world? Yes, okay. But when you disrespect the history of Regis Philbin, right, with, that legendary studio, when you disrespect 26 years of being live from Times Square, Good Morning America, when you disrespect the studio that Barbara Walters was in, that really does get to people. Not to mention, too, the ABC building was sold allegedly. I think it was sold to some venture capitalist group or something. But what that should have been, that could have been the home of ABC News Live and all your digital content, right? Because there is something special about getting in the car and going to Times Square early in the morning. Like, having that space really does, bring up a pent up demand for you to give your best. So now if everybody's in the same building, it's like, oh, okay, well, as soon as I get done with GMA, I'll just go down the way to the View. You don't have that time to really, decompress as a guest, because you do your press tour in the same building. Like, where's the fun in that? If I finally get in Hollywood, not if, but when I finally get in Hollywood, I wanted to have a day where I'm in New York and I'm live from Times Square, and then I go downtown to Tamron Hall, and then I, go right next door to the View, and then, I have a day where I get to be everywhere. But now when I go to the Robert A. Iger building, which is a glorified building for oneself, it ain't gonna be as fun. I'm still gonna do it because it took that long to get here, but still. With that being said, y'all, I'm gonna turn my camera now because we've done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. What a show, 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 what a show. Like I said, I do wish 106 in sports well, because at the beginning and end of the day, it's BET taking a swing. You know what I mean? And like I said, they're trying. But I do think they could have also incorporated black talent from, CBS Sports. I mean, Nate Burleson works at CBS Mornings. Like, what the hell? The co-host on the NFL Today on CBS, and he does NFL Slime Time on Nickelodeon. Like, do y'all not know the resources y'all have? Good Lord Jesus. Sorry, y'all, I had to check on something real quick, but yes, indeed. But yep, like I said, I just wanted to come on and talk to y'all for just a little bit about the state of BET, just to let you know there's some restructuring going on and some cuts, some streamlining going down. But yeah, that's all I wanted to come on and talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. 3 shows in one day. I love being able to do stuff like this with y'all and talk about things that you may not know about, but you definitely are going to need to know about eventually, right? So, yes, indeed, there. So good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. So, yes, indeed. Oh, man. So, yeah. So we'll probably chill out here to maybe 1 hour and 7 minutes, and make it do what it do. Actually, you know what? Let's take a little commercial break. We'll be back with more Braylon's Virtual Tour Live right after this.
Beyond this gate, find gardens green and epic worlds to fill your dreams.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward,
with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination, an experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and Mira's commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
Sweet morning dew, one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my best I knew. God, you were found. I come from nothing. Our fun is your fun.
Welcome to the celebration.
We all we got.
I'll see that. Don't you leave here to go for happiness. I want you to leave here to show
I'm loving it.
I love y'all right back. Welcome back into Braylon's virtual tour live. Y'all, that's the show. Just want to come on, not for a long time, but for a good enough time to let you know what's going on with BET there. I still believe in BET. I think that if, and you know, to their credit, Ain't much though, so don't take a victory lap. But they are utilizing Ashley Nicole Moss, who is a CBS Sports analyst, host, and reporter. I think it would have been better to add Ashley Nicole Moss as more of a, BET sports correspondent, that she could have made sports content for not just BET and VH1, but also for BET Plus. But hey, that's just me though. Same thing with Cam. I think he could have done the same thing. But, maybe 106 Sports might be a test to see if they can expand sports into the fabric of BET. We'll see. But with that being said, everybody, that is it for your man, your friend, and family member. It's time for the best outro on YouTube. Know what you do and do what you know. Never say one more special, because you are always one of blessing and trust. You may not be where you want to be, but at the end of it, you'll be where you need to be. Do what you've been chosen to do. Why? It's one thing to call yourself. It's another thing to be chosen. One love, much love, all love. I spend time with you. You spend time with me. And hopefully, by spending time together, we'll also be great together. And always remember, we're doing radio, television, YouTube, live your best life, or just trying to, let everybody know that, listen, the only way we will have platforms if we talk about them. Make sure the replay is not just for you watch it, not just for you listen to it, but for you want to experience it again. I love you. I value. I embrace you all. Always remember, receive love you got, give it, receive love you got, give it, receive love you got, give it. Where obstacles you have overcome, where success you have achieved upon this particular day. I'm extremely proud of you, but no one's proud of you. Be proud of your damn. So finally, y'all, listen. Tomorrow will be a big day. Please prepare yourself for whatever is going to happen with these closing statements tomorrow. A lot has been said, a lot has been heard, and a lot has been consumed. So give everybody some love, grace, and space tomorrow. With that being said, I feel the love, and commercial break and fireworks coming your way for the day that was, the day that's come, for the blessings on the way for me, all of us as a society, as people, as a culture. I feel love and send it right back to you as the fireworks are literally going off on my cue. Love you all. Good night.
I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you, they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done.
Good evening. My name is Mark Woodbury. I'm the chairman and CEO of Universal Destinations and Experiences. Well, we're finally here. Tomorrow we begin a new chapter at Universal Orlando Resort as we open Epic Universe. We built this place for you. I want to thank you, our fans, for your love of our stories, characters, and immersive experiences that inspired this incredible place. Epic Universe represents over 8 years of meticulous planning, immense creativity, and innovation, combined with unmatched craftsmanship and operational excellence on the part of thousands of people who have brought to life the stories and characters that live beyond each of Epic's portals. But it represents so much more. Your love of Universal and the deep connections we've shared together here in Orlando over the past 30 years inspired us to dream bigger and to push the boundaries to create something extraordinary for you and for generations of fans and families to come. And tomorrow, as we open Epic Universe, I can't wait for you to experience this place for yourself. Now it's your turn to step inside, to lose yourself, and to share this place with the ones you love most. As we open this park, we hope your world becomes a little more epic. Tomorrow, Epic Universe becomes yours.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.